Okay, start.
Hi, everyone. We are group number 7, and this is our Kakao Pay valuation. So first of all, let me just go over what we're going to start with. We have an overview, an industry analysis, method, technique, competitors, a regression analysis, and our final conclusions. So first, we're going to do the overview. So the main question of this case is whether or not Kakao Pay stock is correctly priced. We came to the conclusion that it is not correctly priced. It is actually overpriced, and investors should sell the stock while it's at this high price. We were able to come to this conclusions by doing the following. We first selected competitors of Kakao Pay, then we calculated the ROE and PB ratio of its selected companies. And then finally, we were able to make a regression analysis for the Kospi 200, Kospi Financial, and Kakao Pay's competitors. So let's do some company history. Kakao Corp is a South Korean information technology service provider that was founded in October of 2010. They provide services related to communication, media, and content platforms, lifestyle, fintech, and search services. Some of their major services include Kakao Talk, Melon Music, Kakao Tea, Kakao Maps, Kakao Bank, Kakao Friends, and more. So Kakao Pay is a mobile payment and digital wallet service by Kakao that allows users to make mobile payments and online transactions, and it was launched in 2014 with integration with Kakao Talk. It was the first easy payment service that was brought to Korea, and it provides contactless payments using near-field communications and QR codes, which allowed users to request and send money to their people in their contacts very easily. As far as sales, annual sales of Kakao Pay in 2021 is 458.6 billion won, which is an increase of 61% compared to 2020. Sales in the payment and financial sectors increased by 38% and 35% respectively. However, Kakao Pay announced that it's operating a loss in 2021 with 27.2 billion won. This deficit also increased compared to 17.9 billion won, which was the year prior.
Okay, let's go fintech industry analysis. In South Korea, there is heavy demand for safe contactless payment because of COVID-19, and Korea is one of the largest e-commerce market in the world. Some financial services, such as alternative financing, crowdfunding, and P2P lending, have grown a lot recently. It caused demand for collaborative systems. Fintech adoption rate of Korea reached almost 70% of the digitally active population. Leading fintech sector is payment and remittance services, and Kakao Pay is the number one in these sectors. In 2020, the market size of Kakao Pay was estimated to approximately 70 trillion won, followed by Samsung Pay and Naver Pay. Let's go what method do we use. Please see this table. There is 단기순 손실, net loss. It means that P ratio is negative, so we rejected the P ratio method. And we calculated EBITDA to use EV/EBITDA method. However, as you can see, the EBITDA is negative, so we also rejected the EV/EBITDA method. We considered one of the 3 most commonly used methods in valuation. In the current Kakao Pay situation, the P and EV/EBITDA method cannot be used, so we choose PB ratio method.
Okay, I will talk about Kakao Pay's competitor. We did a regression analysis using ROE and expected growth rate. We attempted a regression analysis with dividend payout ratio also, but this method was rejected because the slope of the regression equation was negative. At first, we roughly analyzed companies in the Kospi 200. After that, further analysis within the industry, we conducted an analysis on the Kospi financial industry. Finally, we selected and analyzed companies that provide service similar to Kakao Pay. According to Kakao Pay According to Kakao Pay's financial statement, payment service accounts for most of its sales. So we found that the list of fintech-based online payment system companies like PayPal. In addition, as you can see in the table, the proportion of sales of financial service has been increasing rapidly. So we extended the boundary to the fintech companies that provide various financial service like AppTech. The table is the competitors' ROE and PV ratio we calculated. It was calculated from investing.com and financial statements of individual companies.
Okay, I will now explain about regression analysis. We did 3 steps of regression analysis. Firstly, we drew a regression graph based on KOSPI 200, second, KOSPI financial, and lastly, competitors we mentioned before. Let's take a look at the analysis on KOSPI 200 first. At the very beginning, we conducted an analysis based on the return on equity and the price-book ratio. However, it was not available to get reliable results. As you can see, the graph was almost horizontal. Next, we did a regression analysis based on the expected growth rate and the price-book ratio instead of ROE. We could produce a significant result. Kakao Pay is located far above the graph out of the confidence range. It means that Kakao Pay is overvalued. This is an analysis on KOSPI financial stocks. When doing a regression analysis using ROE and PBR, it was also impossible to get meaningful data. The slope of the regression graph was almost zero. Therefore, we used the expected growth rate again. According to the graph, the stock price of Kakao Pay is overpriced again. Lastly, we did regression analysis on our competitors, which we selected. We have already presented the criteria for determining the competitors. Referring to the graph, the price of Kakao Pay will fall until it is rationally priced. Thus, anyone who has Kakao Pay stock should sell it while it is still overpriced.
So lastly, we're just going to go over our final conclusions. So to conclude, after our 3 regressions all showed that Kakao Pay was overvalued. Both the KOSPI 200 and the KOSPI financial showed that it had a higher stock price than average, and when compared to its competitors, it also had a higher stock price than its peers. Therefore, the logical decision is to sell the stock. The decline in stock prices of global fintech companies and the deterioration of Kakao Pay's performances are able to support this result. We are Group 7, and we thank you so much for listening and watching. Have a great day. And this is our We're Excited.